Yo, people, welcome back to the podcast, the Pitch Perfect one, Ipswich Town one, Man United one. And people, if there's one big giveaway that we can take from this game, is that Rome wasn't built in a day. Ruben Amorim is not a magician. He's not gonna change things in one training session, in one game. So first things first, people, those who watched the game, those who didn't watch the game, those who know about the manager, those who don't expect too much too soon. This is gonna be a long process. It's gonna be a long road, long journey. Nothing's gonna happen overnight. This team won't be playing like prime Barcelona within 2 weeks' time. It's gonna take a long process, and like the game proved that. The whole game. Like I cannot even sit down and say that maybe the first 10 minutes or the last 30 minutes or 10 minutes before halftime we look. No, the whole game, it was just a very kind of cagey type of game, cagey affair. You didn't know what way it was gonna go. You didn't know who really wanted it more. You know, like I said, he's had barely any time with the players. The players were out on international duty. Some of the players came back from international duty just about a couple of days ago, 2, 3 days ago, and he's had a training session with them and a meeting with them, and that's about it. So you can't work in them. There's only so much you can do in those kind of situations. So first half, within 80 seconds, 80 to 100 seconds, we get the goal. Good drive through down the right hand side by Ahmad, and then whips it in, and Rashford is first, gets onto it before the goalkeeper does, and we're 1-0 up. We're looking good. We've started the game perfect stuff for Amorim, but you could tell as the game went on though, like we just lack control of the ball. We lack control of the game. On paper, we probably had more possession than Ipswich, but territory-wise, Ipswich had more territory than us. Ipswich were hounding us like a pack of wolves. I, I felt like we couldn't get out of our own half for most of the game. For most of the half, we couldn't get out of our own half. Mazraoui would pass it to Ahmad, and then Ahmad would be man marked by two players, would be covered by two players, by blue shirts, and then he has no choice but to pass it back to Mazraoui. Then Mazraoui has no choice, passes it back to Onana, and it was just that kind of a recycle over and over again. No options. Players are around, but players are not around. It was just a weird one, to be honest with you. So a very difficult performance. Very difficult performance. Ipswich is a very difficult place to go to, especially since they've been in good form as of late. It was always going to be a tough game. I expected us to win, but it was always going to be a tough game. They were not going to make it easy for us. They were hounding us. Like I said, territory-wise, they were all over us. Having the front row of Smodics, Liam Delap, and Omari Hutchinson, them boys were willing to run. They were running down our back five all game long, not giving them a minute's rest at all. So we knew what we were going to get with those kind of players. Those are the kind of players that they can do it off the ball and on the ball. So I mean, that's the danger that they possess. Players as good as Omari Hutchinson and Liam Delap, you're always gonna have something to worry about. And we saw that a few times. Liam Delap threatened us. But first and foremost, I gotta give full credits to Onana. Andre Onana, man of the match. There's no arguments whatsoever. Just because we didn't win the match, that should not change anything. Onana is the man of the match. What a performance! He's the one who's kept the result the way it is. If anything, we should have lost that game. Because Ipswich had the better chances. Liam Delap missed two guilty open goal chances. Basically, you can call it 200% certain goal chances. Liam Delap missed because Onana was there. He made himself big, made himself a presence there, and he got us a point. We have to give him credit for that. The goal by Omari Hutchinson, good sliding towards his stronger foot on the left hand side. Obviously, it deflects off Mazraoui's head. Now there's question marks whether it would have gone in, without the deflection. if buts and maybes. It doesn't matter. The goal went in, good shot, good goal. If you don't take the shot, you will never know, you know. And he took the shot and he went in. Can't blame Onana for that. There's nothing Onana could have done about that. So they were threatening. They were threatening us. You know, they exploited that right hand side of ours with Ahmad as a wing back. Now this is what one of the problems now that I had, you know, playing with Ahmad on the wing as a wing back. I'm happy with Ahmad playing, but when you play him as a wing back, that's the worry that you're gonna have that defensive weakness. You know, if we're playing against a better fullback or a better winger, Ahmad would get found out, and that's my worry. I don't want Ahmad to be in those positions where he's tracking down the opposition winger. I don't want to be seeing him in those positions. I want Ahmad to be on the other side, you know, on opposition 18-yard box. I don't want him on our 18-yard box. That's not his game, and I can't blame him for that. He got spun by Smodics, you know, and then Smodics laid it off to Delap, and then that was the save by Onana. I can't blame Ahmad for that's not his game. He doesn't want to be running that direction. He wants to be going the other way. But look, all these are kind of things. Look, just it's only Amorim's first game, so I'm not gonna go too hard on Amorim. I'm hoping that this game was a proper trial, that he was able to look and see who's really who, you know, and tell who probably isn't good enough to play in his system and who might be able to nick playing in the system. In the second half, I just felt like the performances dropped. The second half, we even lost more control of the game. We didn't have any sort of control. In the first half, we were picking up a few passes here and there, a little 1-2s here and there, a little intricate passing, you know, between Ahmad and Bruno and stuff like that, and Casemiro. But in the second half, there was just no control again, no control. Like this club, this team, it needs a revamp. It needs a reconstruction from top to bottom. It needs a reconstruction. So at least I think this game was a good enough sign for Amorim to know that he's got a big and long job ahead of him. He knows that after seeing that performance, he knows that this job is big. He probably thought, by the names that we have, the Rashfords, the Bruno Fernandes, he thought that maybe he could have done something. But I think this performance just proved to him in his head that, yeah, this job is bigger than he thought. Like, I was seeing him on the touchline, his reactions, I was seeing his gestures. He didn't look happy. He was not impressed at all with the performance. And I was happy to see that. Like, I was happy to see that he didn't look happy with the performance, that he was screaming at players, he was telling players what to do. He was vocal on the touchline, you know. He wasn't just like Ten Hag, who just stood and just arms folded, hands in the pockets, just not saying anything. He was vocal, he was active, he didn't look happy. It was clear to see that he was not happy with the performance. So it's going to be very interesting to see how we set up in our next league game, which is against Everton, whether we're going to go for the same team or whether we're going to have any changes. But definitely changes are needed. Like, definitely changes are needed. On the left-hand side, we looked rubbish. That left-hand side was bleeding. The left-hand side with Dallo, Evans, and Garnacho, bleeding for creativity, bleeding for quality. No quality whatsoever there. So it was very difficult. Luke Shaw coming in the second half, he added a bit of a balance to the left-hand side. You know, even though Luke Shaw is a bit rusty, he still held his own. I'm not gonna give him any penalties. He didn't do anything wrong in my eyes. He held his own, but we therefore did need a lot of we need a balance. That left hand side was bleeding, absolutely. Even our right hand side, like Ahmad had very good touches. He looked bright, but Ahmad, Bruno, it just weren't working. It just weren't working. Having Bruno out wide there, it just didn't look right. Bruno, Rashford, and Garnacho as a front three. You're bleeding, you're crying for creativity, you're crying for quality. And I hope that Amorim realizes this and sees this, you know, before it's too late. So for the next game, what I would like to see for sure is I would like to see a bit more balance in our 11, especially on the flanks, because in the back three, the wing backs are the most important players, are as important as anything, you know, are as important as the system. So the wing backs are your source of defensive coverage, your source of creativity, of everything almost would go through your wing backs in the back through formation. So I'll be looking for a bit more balance in our next game. The next game is against Bodo in the Europa League. So I'd like to see him try something new. Maybe have Anthony on the left hand side of the wing, on the left hand side, as a left wing back, and then possibly, I don't know, possibly Garnacho or Dallo as a right wing back. Just something different. I definitely want a left footer as a left wing back and a right footer as a right wing back. I like Ahmed. Ahmed has to start for me. He's proved time and time again that he's good enough to start. But I don't want him anywhere near the right wing back position. That's not his position. I don't want to shoehorn him just for the sake of it, and then he's going to be getting exposed, and then he's going to be getting blamed. He's going to be a scapegoat. I don't want that. So I want Dalot to go. Dalot as a wing back, and then possibly we try Anthony. If not Anthony, both Luke Shaw and Malasi are back in the squad. So we give one of them a try anyways in the game against Bodo, and then hopefully Lisandro Martinez should be fully fit in time for Everton, and then we can slot him as left back. I mean as a left center back. But definitely that's my biggest takeaway. We need balance. We absolutely do need balance in those wing back positions. But yeah, in the number 9 position as well, Rashford got the goal. Other than that, nothing, 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 nothing. Even when he's getting passes, 1-1 with the center backs, he can't beat the center backs. He can't get past the center backs. He can't outpace center backs. No. Look, I don't even want to go into Rashford, but anyways, look, it's only game 1 for Amorim. Not a great performance, but look, wasn't expecting magic, wasn't expecting wonders. It's only game 1. He's not a magician. He can't change things overnight. So, like I said, what I'm hoping for in the game against Bodo is the balance on the width and in the front three, and in the midfield, Eriksen and Casemiro. Probably would like to see a change in that. Would like to see one of either starting, possibly Ugarte, Casemiro, or Kobe Mainu and Ugarte, or Kobe Mainu and Casemiro, just one of each. But because it definitely didn't work. The Eriksen and Casemiro midfield too. We were getting overrun. We were getting overrun. We were getting outpowered, outworked. It just weren't working. But look, people, that's my match reaction. Anyways, like I said, not a great performance, shit performance. There's no difference with this performance to the performances that we've been seeing all season. But like I said, this is a very much Ten Hag team. No players in that match, in that squad, are any of these players. So we gotta take this game with a pinch of salt. We cannot be too critical. But hopefully the performance looks better and improves in the game against Bodo. But yeah, people, not a great performance, not a great game, but we take the point and we move on to the next league game against Everton. In terms of the channel, we appreciate the support again, nonetheless, the constant support. We appreciate all those who keep commenting, sharing around the channel, watching videos, even if you're not able to watch the videos till the end, but the fact that you're watching is enough of a support, that you're being active, staying updated with the channel is much appreciated. As for upcoming videos, I'd say Lawrence and Richard should be having their match reactions later today or possibly tomorrow. They've had some technical issues on their side, so hence why the delay in releasing the match reactions. But yes, people, thank you all for those who have been watching this video, and I should be back on Tuesday for football talk. Peace.